Good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 202 of the Ask the Coach show, where PingSkills helps you improve your table tennis. 202 is a Smith number because the sum of its digits equals the sum of the digits of its prime factors. So for 202, 2 plus 0 plus 2 equals 4, and the prime factors are 2 and 101, and summing those digits gives us 2 plus 1 plus 0 plus 1, which also equals 4, so it's a Smith number. Now, the drill of the week is called Switching Drill, and we'll tell you what this is and why you should be using it in your training. In the questions, we'll talk about the difference between training 4 or 5 days a week, the importance of luck in table tennis, and what rubber to use on your backhand as a defender. And of course, we've got our week-long competition where you could win a PingSkills Premium membership. So stay tuned for that too. I'm Jeff Plum, and as always, Super Coach Alois Rosario is here with me to answer your questions. Welcome, Alois.
Good morning, Jeffrey.
You just cut out, Alois. I lost all your sound as soon as you started complaining about numbers. No, you're muted. I know something's gone on. Can't hear you at all. That serves you right for complaining about Smith numbers. Nah, I can't hear you at all. We've lost him. And, it serves him right, doesn't it? Smith numbers are exciting. Who wouldn't want to know about summing digits and summing the prime factors of the digits? And imagine them being equal. I mean, that's an impressive number, like the number 202. Good stuff. So, yes, we are running our competition about how you can win we're giving away 5 premium memberships, 4 weekly and 1 monthly. So every day this week, the best answer to our PingSkills question of the day will go into the draw for that yearly prize, and the other 4 will get a monthly membership. So we'll be announcing the yearly winner on Monday. So first up, I'm just going to get straight into today's PingSkills question of the day so you can have your chance to win. And the PingSkills question of the day is, how can table tennis attract more spectators? So to get involved, jump on our Facebook page and answer that question, or onto our table tennis blog at pingskills.com. Leave your answer to how can table tennis attract more spectators for your chance to win a premium membership. Now, let me check. Alois has been trying to get his sound back up. Are you there, Alois? No, can't hear you at all. Have you got the microphone plugged in? He's gone.
I think so. Hello.
You're back.
Hello. Is that better?
Yeah. What did you do?
Okay. I don't know. Nothing. Okay.
Well, you're back. I think you just fixed your attitude and stopped complaining about the numbers, and the world said, "Hey, yeah, you can come back and be part of the show now."
Nah, that numbers thing, that 202, yeah. Anyway, I am back, and I don't know what you've been talking about anyway. So,
what you couldn't hear me either.
Yeah, no, but I was off trying to fix the world.
Well done. We fixed it now. We've just asked the PingSkills question of the day, so people are already jumping on, answering, trying to win that premium membership.
Excellent.
But let's talk about yesterday's PingSkillers question of the day, Alois, which was, what changes need to be made to the service rule? And then let's talk about who our winner is.
Okay. So I'm just trying to get to the answers. Yeah. So we had quite a few responses again. Thank you, guys. So Dieter jumped on again. So Dieter was the winner of day 1, and he had some interesting ideas. He can't win twice in a row, can he, Jeffrey? No. So he said the serve rule foremost needs enforcement, not changing. So it's a good point. Maybe the rule there is okay, just needs to be enforced better. The major issue is that the contact point must be visible to the opponent. In professional circumstances, that could be done, but the opponent claiming he can't and then bring in video evidence like in tennis or rugby, yeah, difficult, isn't it? And, like I think even at that professional level, technology would be difficult to tell because, where do you put the camera? Do you put it on the 2 net posts? Perhaps. And then at the club level, it just doesn't work, does it? But on our Facebook page, quite a few. Patrick said the rule is fine as it is for the pro level, except that the umpires need to be placed in a way that allows them to actually call hidden serves behind the receivers. So, yeah, interesting. So we probably need 3 umpires, don't we? Or just 2 umpires, 1 at each end of the court. And Rory said, I just read a post by Larry Hodges, and Larry's pretty big on the service rule, where he discussed the current top 10 male players. He looked at all their serves, and everyone except 1 player looked to be intentionally hiding the ball on the serve. The one that wasn't obvious seemed borderline. So there you go. James Williams said, the rule should be that my opponent concedes a point to me if they manage to return my serve. Yes, something like that, James.
Yeah.
Jared Cathcart said, what changes? None. People just need to actually follow the current rules. So that's a little bit of a common theme. And Eugene wants you to toss the ball back to you. Or be allowed to toss the ball back to yourself. But then I think the other one that so another couple we had, Nigel said, the service rule as it stands seems to me to cover all eventualities. The problem is it's very difficult to enforce due to lack of video evidence. So similar to what Dieter said. But Marson has said, so one solution, allowing again any hiding or whatever disguise, but start to use the 2 coloured ball as in the 2014 Chinese League. And he had another solution. The serving player has, during contact of the ball, has to have his free arm down beside him. Yep. And the third option, to forbid players staying opposite to the receiver. So what he's saying there, you're not allowed to turn your back on the receiver at all. So it would mean that their feet position need to be at a certain angle. So you're not allowed to have your feet too far around, yeah. So no conclusive solutions there, Jeff. Anything that you like?
I think, maybe just getting rid of or allowing people to hide the ball is something that needs to be considered. I don't think it's as bad as people think it is. And it just clears up any of the confusion about the service rules. I'm not convinced it's the way to go, but it's worth a thought.
Yeah, and for that reason too, I think that Marson takes the win today. So
well done, Marson.
Well done. So allowing again any hiding or whatever disguise, but bringing in the 2 coloured ball. So maybe that is the way to go. So Marson, you are the winner for yesterday's PingSkills question of the day. Well done.
All right, well done. So one thing about all this, Alois, is I still don't think there's a real obvious answer. And if there was, ITTF probably would have, tested it or tried it by now. It's not an easy problem to solve.
Yeah, and I think the thing is that the rules are so complex, but they're just too difficult to enforce. Like especially at a club level, you just can't do it. So it has to go past that. And, maybe the 2 coloured ball is the solution. I don't know. Wow, where would we go with ball manufacturing once the 2 coloured ball comes in? How does that work with the seamless ball? I don't know the manufacturing process, but
Yes, interesting. All right. Well, unfortunately, we haven't solved the serving problems of the ITTF, but hopefully there's some good ideas there, Alois.
Yeah, and if Philip Boyle had got on and put his solution on there, maybe he could have taken the question of the day, because we do like that one, and that is just serving like in doubles, serve one way and then serve the other way.
Yes, and he can certainly use some help with the PingSkills Premium membership to lift his game. So
yeah, indeed. Yeah. Seen him play. Oh.
All right. Let's move on, Alois, to the drill of the week. What is this drill? Why is it useful? And why should people be using it?
Yep. So this is the switching duel. So this drill is where you get your partner to block either 1 or 2 balls to your backhand side, and then 1 or 2 balls to your forehand side. So it's so this is a little bit of a combination of a dynamic and a static drill. So you know where the first ball's coming to. You're not sure where that next ball's coming to, but if it comes here, then you know the next one has to come to your forehand side. So it's good because it practices repetition on the same side, but it also practices the switching between the sides. So yeah, it's a good drill for quite a lot of aspects. The switching, the static and the dynamic components of it, and you can do it at whatever level you want as well. So I mean, you could just block and do it nice and simply, or you can do top spins on all the balls, or you could do a combination of some counter hitting and some top spinning with the drill as well. So yeah, a good drill. Give it a try. The switching duel.
Excellent. And I love what you've done with that name, Alois. You've done duel as in, 2 people fighting, but duel also means 2, and you've got 2 sides to go, or it's 1 or 2 balls. Very clever.
Yeah, it's like the 202, isn't it, Jeff?
Exactly. Yes, well done. All right, yeah, so get out on the table this week. Try that drill, the switching duel. It is very good and will help you get better. All righty, it's time for this day in history. Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, now
what
we're
happened?
talking. All right, I need my show notes here. So on this day, we have some table tennis birthdays. So here we go. So Alexander Karakasovic, a fantastic Serbian player who's just got a ridiculous backhand and ridiculous shots, was born on this day in 1975. Mirjana Lucic, so she is a class 10 in the para table tennis world, ranked in the top 10 now there, and will be aiming for a Paralympic spot. So Mirjana Lucic from Croatia, born on this day. But also a couple of Aussie table tennis players, Chris Yan, who recently won the Australian Top 10 Championship, born on this day, and also Greg Letts. So Greg Letts, quite famous in the table tennis world. He used to do the website
about table tennis. About, yep.
That's right, about table tennis, and now does some very witty little animations as well. And he does have one on the service rule and a few other interesting bits. So we might put a link to Greg Letts's animation there as well. But happy birthday, Greg! So yes, quite a few table tennis birthdays. And then, of course, Donny Osmond. Who could forget Donny Osmond? And Joan Armatrading. Do you remember her, Jeff? Joan Armatrading?
Singer or?
Yeah, singer, yeah. Dame Judi Dench, our Australian ex-Prime Minister, Bob Hawke, famous for a few other things apart from being Prime Minister, and Kirk Douglas. So there you go. Lots of famous birthdays today.
There you go. December 9th. Excellent. Love it. That's interesting. Almost as interesting as the number 202.
Or the switching duel.
Yes. All right. Now, let's get into the questions, Alois. First up, Pascal, or Pascale, has asked, Hi, Alois. I'm practicing 5 days a week with my robot, 5 hours a day. But this week, I got a bit tired, so I wanted to practice 4 days this week. Do you think there's a lot of difference between 5 and 4 days a week of practice if I'm a bit tired?
Hey, Pasquale. So firstly, well done on being able to maintain 5 days a week, 5 hours on a robot. That's good dedication. That's a lot of hitting. Certainly, if you're starting to feel tired and mentally tired, take a day off. when you're doing that amount of training. I'd say if you're practicing once a week or twice a week and you think, oh, I'm a bit tired, and maybe you can push yourself through and make sure you do the second session. But if you're doing 5 days a week, yeah, sometimes you do need a break. Mentally, physically, all that sort of thing. You do need to take a break. So, Pasquale, take that day off, give yourself a rest, and see if you can just refresh a little bit. The other thing is that 5 days a week on a robot is good, but if you can supplement that with 1 or 2 days training with a training partner, would be heaps better. And I've talked to you a little bit about this now on the site, and you said that you do go to a club every now and then. So that's great if you can do that as well. Try to get as much hitting with partners as well. The robot is good, but as we've talked about a lot, it has a limited benefit. And when you start to play with other players, you're going to find that, well, you're not really picking up cues of where the ball's coming or what type of stroke they're doing. So yeah, if you can just supplement with a little bit of playing with partners as well, all the better.
Yeah, I think so, Alice. When you're training that amount, I think it's definitely important to be training a good percentage of it with other players, just because, like you said, about the spin and, placement and different ways balls come off the bat, just so much better. So, yeah, Pascal, if you can get to that club more often, much, much more beneficial.
Yeah, but the option is if you can't possibly get to that club, then doing another day of hitting on the robot is okay.
Yes, good point. Just one other interesting thing, I guess, you always talk about your training needs to be focused. So no point going there if you're not concentrating, because you're not going to get anything out of the session, and it's just going to be wasted and you might get frustrated. But on the other hand, I guess, you look at the professionals, 4 days to 5 days, it's a 20% increase in training. So that's quite a step up, really.
Yeah, actually, it's a 25% increase, Jeff.
Oh, good. Lucky you. See, you're good with numbers.
That's right. Me and numbers, Jeff. Me and numbers.
It's a 20% decrease, right, from 5 down to 4, but a 25% increase from 4 up to 5.
Correct. Now you got
it. I knew you loved your numbers. All right, let's move on then. So let's go to Christopher, who says, I just wanted to let you know how much I have appreciated being a member of PingSkills. You have made such a difference in my game. It's great to see two people so dedicated to their sport and to helping others progress in their love of the game. Well, thank you, Christopher. That's nice, Alois.
It is nice, and thank you. Yeah, we do get messages reasonably often through emails and things, and every single time we get one, it's great. Yeah, really appreciate it. So thank you, Christopher. Really appreciate those sentiments.
Yes, thank you very much. All right, next up is one from George, who says, how important is the luck of the game? What is the place of fortune when you're playing table tennis?
Yeah, I don't think a great deal overall. In the bigger scheme of things, luck doesn't really play much of a part. People often complain, I was so unlucky today. The other guy got a net and then he got an edge just on match point and that sort of stuff. And I always say it's easy to remember the luck that you get against you rather than the luck that you get. The luck that you get, you sort of dismiss it, but any luck you get against you, you sort of, oh no, so yeah, it's difficult, but try to keep it in perspective. Really, overall, luck doesn't really play a part at all. And I did put a little quote in there that I've heard, as they say, the harder I work, the luckier I seem to get. So, and I think that's a very, very true comment. And we had a bit of discussion about who actually was the originator of that saying. And there's a little bit of controversy as to that, Jeff.
Really?
Yeah.
I always thought it was Thomas Jefferson.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So there's a big band that say Thomas Jefferson, but others say no, can't find it anywhere in his history. So there you go. But if you know any more about that saying, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Let us know.
Yeah. I think this it's interesting, isn't it, about this luck, because I guess people remember this most if they get to like 10 all in the seventh game and then someone gets a net. That's when it really feels like luck is against you. But how many people have actually got to that point and had luck against them there? And I guess another one, like you're saying, Alois, is maybe during a game people go, oh, you got 4 or 5 nets. But again, I guess with these shorter games, Alois, it does feel like it's more important each point. But you have more sets. So I think over the course of a game and over the course of a tournament, and it does just even itself out. And, luck's not a big deal. And I guess you just have to take the attitude that, if I'm good enough, I'm going to be far enough ahead anyway that luck's not going to, make a difference.
Yeah, that's true. And I suppose the only other exception is, often players that play with long pimples seem to be luckier. But what's happening is that they're hitting the ball lower over the net a lot of the time. So the ball's, just got those small margins. So if you're playing closer to the net, then obviously you're going to get more balls touching the net and going over. Whereas if you're playing with inverted rubber, you've got a higher margin over the net most of the time. So yeah, I've often heard, that guy with long pimples, he's so lucky, he just gets the net all the time, but he's playing with smaller margins too. So that's why he'll be getting the nets, but also there'll be some balls going into the top of the net and going back on his side as well. So always take those sort of things into consideration. And
there you go. I knew it. Long pimple players are more lucky. You've just said it all this time. There you go. Well, it makes sense. Okay, at least it makes sense now.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is that I remember Gatien's coach saying, Michel Gadal, saying that as people get better, when you're just starting out, you're aiming for the table, but then as you start to get better, you're aiming for a smaller area to the extent where then towards the end, you're aiming for that close to the white line. And when you're aiming for that close to the white line, then sometimes you're going to get the edge. Similarly, if you're aiming for just over the net as you start to get better and better, then sometimes that ball is going to clip the top of the net and go over. It's almost really the ideal shot. It's the ultimate of what you're aiming for. You're aiming to get that ball really low and just skim over the net or just touch the net. You're aiming for the ball to go really close to the edge of the table. So that is the ultimate skill. Just accept it. Move on.
And that backs up that saying, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Exactly. Excellent.
Indeed.
Indeed. Someone was commenting on that just the other day, just how much I say indeed. It's a good word. All right, let's move on to Alan's question. He says, I played my first tournament as a defender. My weakness was lack of spin, and the good players are too smart. I had one decent win. Should I try and defend with inverted rubber? I don't want to give up on this style as I'm very good at hard bat.
Yeah, I think inverted rubber does give you a lot of options. It does open out the world for you, but on the other hand, you are losing that control. So if you're playing with a long pimple or a hard bat, it's so much easier to control that ball back onto the table. But if you're using the inverted rubber, then you're going to be able to vary the spin much better. So it really depends on your style and how well you can control the ball. I was doing a little bit of chopping the other day in one of my sessions, and I found that my forehand chop's quite okay. I've got good control. My backhand chop, I find it difficult to control. So I was just thinking, gee, it would be nice to have some long pimples on the backhand there to chop with, because it was harder to keep that ball down for me on the backhand side. So yeah, it really depends on your level and your ability, but the inverted is going to give you more options to vary the spin yourself as well. And I remember always playing Paul Pinkowicz, a very famous defender from Australia, and I used to hate playing him when he had inverted rubber on the backhand side. When he had long pimples, I felt much more comfortable.
Interesting. Now, if we look at a lot of the top defenders in the world, my feeling is most of them are using long pimples on the backhand. Would that be your feeling as well?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think now, just with the pace and of the ball, they really need that long pimple on the backhand to be able to control that ball.
Okay. Now, say you're taking a long-term view of a young person or an older person just wanting to become a chopper, and so you're taking a long-term view. Would you get them to start off with inverted rubber just so they get used to the spin and then have them switch to long pimples, or should they start with long pimples to start with, or is there no real right answer here?
Yeah, there's probably no real right answer, but I'd say start with inverted on both sides, just so you're really understanding the spin that's coming to you and how to control it, and then switching to a long pimple on the backhand side. And I think, yeah, if you're starting to reach a higher level, then the long pimple is really important on the backhand side.
Excellent. All right. Well, good question, Alan, and well done on playing your first tournament. Great step. It's always fun. And so if anyone out there hasn't played a tournament yet, find a local table tennis club and see how you can get involved. It's really beneficial for your table tennis. All right, Alois. Well, that wraps up show 202, the Smith number. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks for all your questions. Get involved. Jump onto our Facebook page to answer the PingSkills question of the day for your chance to win a premium membership. And, of course, you can also enter at pingskills.com. And we will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Alois.
Thanks, Jeff. And how can table tennis attract more spectators? Interesting.
Bye.